started getting the ranch business. When we first started out, when we first got married, I worked in the oil field. And then I taught school and just everything to make a living. So I asked my dad one day, I said, Dad, I'd like to get in the ranch business. Would you go on my note and borrow some money? He held his hands out like this and he said, see these hands? He said, I've done it with these two hands, I think you can too. And that's all he told me. And that's just where it was, and that's what I've done with Rusty. You know, if it's given to you, handed to you, you don't appreciate it. But if you get out and do it yourself, well then you really appreciate it. The Owens originated in Illinois, and they migrated down to Hamilton County. And in the migration, they scattered out, and Grandpa Owens and Grandma Owens got married in Hamilton County. So Grandpa said it was too crowded down there with kinfolks, so he wanted to move. So they moved west, and him and his brother named Sam, they moved together. That was 1887. And they came out here horseback, and of course this was wide open spaces, and no fences, no windmills, no nothing, just wide open. So he told Sam, said, this is where I'm going to stay. So Grandpa and Grandma moved here in '87, and so it was kind of a funny deal. Grandma and Grandma lived in a tent over here at the West Ranch for 2 years, and they had flaps on this tent, and every morning when they'd get up, they could see tracks of dirt around this tent where snakes had crawled trying to get in there where they were. So he lived there, they lived there 2 years. Well, at the end of 2 years, well, Grandpa said, well, that's where we're going to stay.
My granddad, when my great-granddad came here in 1884 and started taking this and homesteaded this country, there was buffalo, there was pronghorn antelope, there was no fences. The grass was up to their bellies. I mean, just waving grass. There wasn't a mesquite tree here. They homesteaded right over here is because there's three draws that run into there, and that was a lot of water.
They got over here to West Ranch, and so Grandpa, he knew a lumberjack, and this fellow was from Del Rio, hauled lumber with the mules. So they built a one-room house. They lived in that one-room house, but every time they'd have a child, they'd put another room on the house. And to make a long story short, it ended up with 10 rooms on the old house.
Years ago, when they started out here, these pens that you're fixing to see, these are the original pens that we had right here. These are called the pole pens. And those are the original pens that were here whenever my granddad was here, my great-granddad was here, my great-granddad built them.
When he first came out here, he settled on 100 sections. Well, after the 100 sections, well, he would give this and give that and give this and give that, and he ended up with 30 sections, and that's what we've got here today. They stayed here and through the rough times and good times, and in 1900, my father was born, and he lived here 96 years. And my dad was a real good cowboy. He was a Westerner. I mean, this was his life. And to give you a little history on Barnhart, Barnhart originated in about 1915. When my grandmother and grandfather came out here, there wasn't any Barnhart. At one time, Barnhart was the largest shipping point in the world. They had the train come through, and there wasn't any train at Ozona, wasn't any train at Sterling City up in there. And they'd bring all the livestock through there. So the ranchers got together and formed what they call OB Trap, Ozona-Barnhart. OB traps originated in 1924, and of course that's all Texas University land. And it was Blackstone and Slaughter had it in the 20s, and in 24 the board of directors went to the university and got 15 sections, and they called it OB, Ozona-Barnhart Trap. Oh, I've seen it a lot of times, better than 100 cars loaded livestock going out of there. It was the largest shipping point in the world at one time. They'd come Comstock, Juneau, Sheffield, all down in there. Of course, it wasn't in trucks. You know, they did, we drove. And it sounded like a lot of driving, what it was. We'd drive them from here to Barnhart, put them in the pens and ship them. But those are my greatest days, getting to go being a cowboy. Dad he'd put his leggings on, his big hat and his heavy coat, you know, and I'd put my leggings on and spur, and I rode a little bit of Shetland. And that was the greatest time of my life. At one time, my dad had nearly 10,000 sheep here on this ranch. The sheep business was a great industry at that time, like it is in Montana. Big industry. He turned all these sheep loose in here, and they ate everything down and caused a weed called bitterweed. It's very, very toxic to sheep. And so in 1980, we were shearing down here at the pens, and I lost 53 sheep that died on the shearing board. So I told my father, I said, Dad, I'm gonna have to do something. And he said, well, he said, I'm 80 years old, and said, I've seen my days. You do what you want to. So I took it, and then I went travel the country around and decided we'd go to the Spanish gold business. And the ranching business, a lot of people think the ranch business is peaches and cream, but a lot of years we don't make a penny, and we just have to shut it down and look for a better year.
I'll tell you, it's a hard life. It's a very hard life. Well, look at my dad. I mean, he's tore all of his back up and everything, just working. Bulls running over him, horses bucking him off, cleaning out water troughs, doing this and doing that. It's a hard life, but you know, I enjoy what I do. I just enjoy watching the baby animals. I enjoy watching the baby animals. I sure do. You know, it's funny. It's kind of funny how it's just like Carson and Avery. I was there the day they was born, and just watch them grow. I enjoy that. You know, that's fun to watch them grow. And I also like on this old ranch here, I like for people to come out here and say, my gosh, look at those brand new fences. Look at this, look at that. You know, I like to see the amount of work that we put into it. It pays off to the point where people will come back and say this and that about you.
You know, that's one thing I can say about our family. With grandkids and great-grandkids and all of them, they know how to work. One of my philosophies of life is that on this old ranch is leave it better than you found it. And that's the way Rusty and I have tried to do it. I know our bellyache and gripe and take on, but I wouldn't change it. I love every bit of it.